Multiple characters appearing in Sonic games have always been a thing. We got a full rainbow of characters at this point, and they're always in the game somehow, whether they play an important role or are just shoehorned in there for Sonic alone. But whatever happened to having others outside of Sonic playable? Don't get me wrong, Sonic is my favorite character, so I'm never gonna get upset as playing as him. It's his franchise after all, and he should have a heavy impact on any game. Sonic Mania luckily did give us Knuckles, Tails, and even Ray and Mighty to play as, so I'll definitely praise that game for giving us multiple playstyles for beating a level. As far as it comes to 3D games though, I think Knuckles was last playable, what, 06? Yeah, oh my god, I'm pretty sure it is, and that was 15 years ago! Tails 2, Sonic's right hand, whatever happened? Oh, and how about Amy? Aw, poor Amy. They really done her bad. You know, you got Silver, who's the definition of missed potential, you got Espio, the cool ninja, Blaze with her awesome fire powers, just all these characters that we just don't get to play because SEGA really likes playing it safe. So what if you were able to play as these characters again? What would their gameplay even be like? What would they do? Well, that's what we're going to try to figure out today, so let's go! Out of all the characters, I'm still most surprised by Tails. He's been Sonic's best friend since Sonic 2 in 1992, and in Sonic's early 3D games, you'd be dang sure you had to have Tails playable. Shadow was luckily playable in Forces, which was really amazing, but I want to see, well, not boost or classic gameplay with these characters. Sure, Shadow works with the boost, but the others, yeah, I don't know. The boost gameplay doesn't really suit anyone but Sonic and Shadow. I guess Amy and Espio could work too if you go by the hero's logic that they're both just as fast as Sonic. So again, adventure-esque gameplay really is the key for making all of Sonic's different characters work. This gameplay is like a sandwich. You know, you can add so much onto it. You want ham, cheese, peanut butter, chocolate paste? There you go, you can add onto it. Boost, on the other hand, is like a nicely prepared grilled cheese. It's got that nice ham in there, molten cheese, the classic. I guess you could add like tomato sauce or something, but is there really a lot you can add onto this already really good sandwich? No, not really. Hopefully that's somewhat of a helpful analogy, but yeah, how would these characters play? Would characters like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, for instance, just go back to their adventure gameplay? Well, let's get into it. Tails' gameplay was really only done properly once to most people. In SA1 it was unique and fitting to his character. Though I do think that SA2's mech levels also fitted his character, but I'm not gonna get into that. Most people would think, well, okay, let's just add back Tails from SA1. It's perfect, doesn't need any changes. Except, no. Yes, the base gameplay of Tails was and still is fun to this day. But the levels? Nah, they could definitely use a whole lot of work. SA2 did the whole making unique levels suited for each character. And I definitely think that if you're gonna bring back Tails, you 100% need to make levels suited for his character. Think about it. Yeah, Windy Valley is a lot of fun. It's fun blasting through it with Tails, skipping everything, flying past Sonic like he's nothing, but it was too quick, and you could just skip most of the level. It's very obvious these levels weren't designed for Tails' flight abilities. But how can you even make levels accommodating this? Well, I think that the last section of His Speed Highway is a good example. Lots of vertical and horizontal travel, so something like that where you move up. You can add little flying challenges where you need to beat some enemies far off into the distance in the air with your tail swipe. So while flying, you'd also need to focus on killing enemies. Maybe midst flight, you can gain some of your flight gauge back, which should be visible during gameplay. So you can keep flying over huge areas by just defeating enemies. Just imagine how fun that would be, and challenging too. That way it's, again, keeping your momentum while flying. Your vertical and horizontal and flight momentum while killing enemies. It wouldn't just be, hey, there's this one level, just clear it by skipping half of it. Maybe grinding could also be a thing that Tails could do. You know, where there'd be a grinding world here, and then really far apart from you, there's another one, and, you know, you have to fly over there. Just more, well, flying really. That's what I want, because it was fun. That's what people remember so fondly from SA1 Tails. Though I do think his moveset from back then is a bit too simple for today's standards. His core moves work well, but there should definitely be a stop button of some sorts whilst flying, so you can halt yourself for a bit, adjust the camera, and fly into another direction, or even fly down. Like, let's say there's a switch somewhere, but you can't just jump to it. It's in a path full of enemies you have to kill first with your flying tail swipe. I don't know, there's just a lot to innovate with this gameplay, maybe even adding slingshots for certain parts so you'd have to fly towards it, but not entirely. Heck, you could even give him some more gadgets. I mean, he is the inventor of the gang, why wouldn't he want to carry some cool stuff with him? I love Tails, so please Sega, bring him back. But what's Sonic and Tails without Knuckles? How would Knuckles change? Is a change even necessary? Couldn't they just keep the Emerald Shard collecting? I think so, yes, but not necessarily collecting Emerald Shards. More like a fast-paced collectathon more than anything. Think Mario, but super fast, and he can fly and, climb on walls, and it's more Sonic-y in style in general. The Master Emerald is cool and all, but having it break in every game, that sounds very repetitive. It was cool the first time, but doesn't have to break all the time. Sounds really annoying to deal with. Death Chamber, for instance, had Knuckles collecting keys to help the gang progress. And I think something like that could work out great for a Red Boy, both in gameplay and story. In gameplay because it's not the same stuff from the past, but rehashed into different stages. But more so objective-based gameplay, such as collecting keys, beating certain enemies, hitting switches, or even just getting to a secret exit somewhere. Why should Knuckles, and I suppose therefore Rouge as well, be restricted to only collecting Emerald Shards, when the gameplay itself can become so much more? The whole point of these characters is to have them explore the level as fast as possible. So just imagine how fun that would be with collecting stuff and doing, well, anything. Finding that secret route, opening that door. I don't know, it'd just be fun to me. Also, story-wise, I mean, that dang green gem is always breaking. It can get repetitive real quickly, like I mentioned earlier, and the writers would always have to keep that in mind when writing the story, and I just think that could really hold the story back. And finally, there's Amy. She's not a fan favorite in terms of gameplay. In SA1, she didn't gain speed fast enough, and wasn't really that fast even when she did. In Heroes, she was on the easy mode with Team Rose, and her gameplay was pretty much the same as the speed characters, which was nice, and she also got this hammer spinny thing move, where she could propel herself in the air for a bit. I've always liked using that one. Then Sonic 06 pretty much ruined her gameplay. She was able to become invisible for some reason. Sure, that's cool, but she was so slow, and her jumps cut down any momentum you had. Yeah, it was just terrible to play as her back then. SA2's multiplayer did have her playable, which was pretty cool, though she missed some of her things. Her speed was a lot better and very similar to Sonic and Shadow, which was a smart move, though I don't think Amy necessarily needs to be as fast as Sonic, or even Knuckles or Tails. SA1 Amy isn't all that bad, you can just add some tweaks. Jumping around with her hammer can be quite fun, but her movement shouldn't be slowed down by just hitting enemies regularly. Maybe she could even have a move that transforms herself into a hammer tornado. That could be a way of gaining speed, like how punching in SA2 with Knuckles works. Like, you would punch and you'd go really fast, it's super fun. I also think her tornado spinny thing from Heroes is just fun, and could possibly be included as a way for her to reach platforms otherwise not reachable. Regarding her speed, I don't think she should be too fast. I think her level should be more focused on classic platforming. Sonic's Mario in a sense, but of course faster than the Red Plumber. Like half of Sonic's speed, maybe the stages could even have some combat elements in them, where you can beat up enemies with the hammer. So think like the Hedgehog, but faster and more fun, I suppose. Her becoming invisible in 06 can even be brought back, and you could use her to sneak past enemies maybe, or maybe Amy is the only one who can see invisible platforms, which could tie into the story with her helping everyone by traversing places the others can't. Amy's just a very underutilized character, and I really do think they can make her fun to play as if they really try. Even if it's just as simple as making SA1 Amy faster and not having her attack slow you down. And yeah, that's pretty much how I would bring these three important characters back into the games. I was also considering talking about Silver and Blaze, but maybe next time. If you'd like me to cover them and other characters as well, let me know. Which characters do you want to bring back the most? and how do you imagine them playing nowadays? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button, and subscribe if you like what you're seeing. I got so much more Sonic stuff planned in the future, so go check it out if you want. With that being said, I hope y'all have a good day, night, or morning, and as always, take care.